Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone. We are from group 7 that consists of 3 people. They are Duita number 1, Devinka number 5, and me Fara number 7. Okay, so here we will present about our answer to questions related to ESP. There are 9 questions and each person will explain 3 questions. The first one is about the definition of ESP. So we found 3 experts that explained about ESP. The first one is Nunan. Nunan explains that ESP is important as a tool for language learning, which includes curriculum development, material design, pedagogy, testing, and research according to the needs of the students. With ESP, people don't need to learn too much about the language, like a set of phonological, grammatical, and lexical items. If they want to be proficient in learning a language, the design of ESP can be developed according to the needs of the students. The second one, we have Dudley Evans and John. They say that ESP always puts students' need in the first place to communicate effectively according to their work situation. And the last one is Bernard and Zemach. They define ESP as a part of ELT, but ESP is more focused on communication goals, which cover a narrower topic that still fits the needs of the student. Next, we have the differences between EAP and EOP. So we found some differences between EAP and EOP. The first one is EAP. EAP is English for academic purposes. The example is English for academic writing. And EOP is English for occupational purpose. The example is English for aviation. The second one is the content in EAP is tailored to the needs of the learners, but the content in EOP is specific to a certain occupation. Next, in EAP, the learners are usually from a higher education setting, and for EOP, the learners are workers, businessmen, or bosses. The last one is in EAP, the learners learn in order to succeed in academic careers, but in EOP, learners learn to improve job performance. And then we have the third question, that is, where does English for vocational high school belong, EAP or EOP? So theoretically, vocational high school is categorized into EOP, English for occupational purposes. This is because the material taught to students must focus on occupational purpose training. But in fact, learning English in vocational schools is more directed to EAP, English for academic purposes. Lack of quality educators, lack of confidence in ESP educators to deliver the exact content for learners are the reasons why teachers openly teach English in general or academic purposes. Okay, so next slides will be explained by my friend.
All right, Farah, thank you very much. Now it's my turn to present the next number. Number 4, what are the advantages of ESP? Please mention the expert you refer to. In here, we took Chris Wright's statement about the benefits of ESP. Chris Wright, in 1992, argues that there are 3 benefits of ESP. The first one, increasing students' speed of learning. This is because students learn what they need, when they need, in authentic situation and context-based contexts. This approach is an excellent opportunity to learn and in accelerated intensive context. The second, ESP course is considered to be efficient method. The teacher designed ESP course design and analyzes students' needs so that it will make students use learning resources from the analysis to acquire skills. And also, this makes the course efficient rather than the taught students with English in general. The third, students can use the language correctly and efficiently. After completing the ESP course, students are ready to use language appropriately, correctly, and effectively in work-related tasks. Next, number 5. What are the roles of ESP practitioners? Please explain briefly. According to Dudley Evans 1989, there are 5 different roles to be performed by the ESP practitioners. They are teacher, collaborator, course designer, materials provider, researcher, and evaluator. As a teacher, the ESP teacher has to create opportunities of learning, to generate authentic communication, and to choose the proper teaching methods to suit the learner's need. The second, as a collaborator. These ESP practitioners, especially for collaborator, should collaborate with other ESP practitioners and subject specialists since he or she still lacks knowledge of the content. The third, as a course designer and material provider. These ESP practitioners should create his own materials or adjust the authentic material used in a workplace and benefit from huge amount of educational resources and teaching materials. As a researcher, the ESP researcher should be preoccupied with the learner's target needs, goals, and interests, upgrade with his knowledge on subject matter he is teaching, and look for authentic materials. And last, as an evaluator, the ESP evaluator should consider the different stages in the evaluation process. For instance, before the course, he or she should evaluate the effectiveness of his learners' response to the teaching method, and at the end of the course, he or she should evaluate the learner's learning outcomes in order to find out whether the learning activity is effective to enhance student skills in their work tasks or to evaluate the learning process on the activity itself. Next, number 6. What is meant by needs? Before we define needs in ESP perception, we define it in a basic concept first. Need is something that is believed to be need or essential elements required for life. For example, needs in humans, there are food, water, protection, clothes, education, so on and so forth. Unfulfilled needs can lead to negative feelings such as anger, confusion, disappointment, frustration, despair, sadness, loneliness, embarrassment, so on and so forth. So, same context in ESP, needs are also defined as what really learners need to learn the acquired language according to their field. In fulfilling these needs, ESP teachers can distinguish which skills should be emphasized more and should be mastered by learners. If needs are not mastered properly, it will have an impact on the performance of learners in their work. Next number will be presented by my friend Devinka.
All right, now we are going to talk about what is needs analysis. So, basically, need analysis is an activity to gather information that will form the basis for developing a curriculum that will fulfill the learning needs of the particular groups of students. Need analysis is important for ESP practitioners to identify their learners' basic requirements or needs and determine the areas in which they are lacking of skills. All right, next. In ESP, needs analysis is important to establish an effective course for the students and determine the priority. The data collected from need analysis is used to determine which method and activities is the most appropriate for the students during the learning process. Need analysis is considered as a continuous process since the teachers need to evaluate the course and modify the course according to the needs of the students. All right, the next is collecting data. There are several ways that ESP practitioners can do to collect the data for needs analysis. The first one is survey. The broad area of survey embraces any measurements procedures that involve asking questions to the respondents. There are two ways to conduct survey. The first one is questionnaire, and the second one is interview. To collect the data using questionnaires, the ESP practitioner can prepare a questionnaire and then distribute it to the students. The questionnaire itself can be in the form of a paper or through online platforms such as Google Form. And the next one is interview. To collect the valid data, the interview involves asking in-depth questions in order to better understand the individual's point of view. However, both of questionnaires and interview have their own advantages and disadvantages. As you can see on the screen, we include a table of some issues that might be encountered while collecting the data for needs analysis. The ESP practitioners can decide for themselves which method is more suitable for their needs analysis. Another way to collect the data is by conducting an interactive observation. The observation can be done during classroom learning, during field trips, or through online diaries from targeted students to gain more diverse results of observation. And the last but not least, the SP practitioner can undergo some test performances and observations of ESP students performing tasks in the target situations. Administering tasks to individuals is meant to determine their skills and knowledge level. Not only that, but their abilities, interests, attitudes, aptitudes, as well as their personality traits are also being assessed for the sake of effective courses. All right, and that's all our presentations about some questions related to ESP. Thank you so much for watching this video. We hope you enjoyed and see you.